This is Chris Kelly with your Peak Fitness Ultimate Warm-Up. This warm-up is going to consist of about 10 minutes of really key drills that is going to change your life as far as the stiffness that you feel, back, neck, and shoulder plane. Now, the way that we're going to do this is I'm going to demonstrate each exercise. I want you to do each one for 1 minute at a time, okay? Take 10 minutes, 1 minute, or take 10 minutes in total. It's 10 exercises, 1 minute at a time. If you don't have time, just perform about 3 revolutions of each of the standing drills that we're going to perform. For the breathing, perform about 10 breaths. All right, so our first exercise is diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, and all we want to do with this exercise is I'm going to put my hands on my ribs. All right, I want to think about breathing not only through my diaphragm, meaning through my belly, but also out into my ribs. I pretend I have a balloon that I'm filling full of air. And I'm taking a deep breath in, my feet are elevated on a wall or on a chair. And I'm thinking like 4 to 6 seconds in, I'm blowing out slightly. 4 to 6 deep breaths or seconds out. You'll find that when you do this drill, you're probably going to start with the breathing, more kind of like through your neck and shoulders, whereas what we want is breathing more through your belly. Okay, this can also be done with the back against the wall. Again, I'm trying to breathe through my belly, through my ribs, as well as through my back, kind of more in this motion. And we're going to spend about 1 minute doing this, or about 10 deep breaths in. The goal is just with each breath, we're trying to just get a little bit more balloon-like, okay? And then as we breathe out, obviously air comes out and we come back to normal, okay? So think feet elevated or seated. Now, our first warm-up drill, okay, is going to be what is called a controlled articular rotation of the neck, okay? For this one, I'm gonna tense my entire body, okay? So I want you to think about tightening your abs as hard as you can, tightening your legs as hard as you can, so my quads, my butt, my calves. I want you to pretend like mud is in the air, okay? And we're going to draw a short, or we're going to draw a big circle with our chin. We're moving slowly, all right? So we're going to tense everything up. I'm going to come down. I'm just going to start to move slowly, okay? The key with this one, I have motion coming only through my neck, just moving my joint through the range of motion completely. If you do find that you have any pinching whatsoever, just avoid that range of motion and also make note of that range of motion, because that is potentially a joint impingement. That might be something that would need to be adjusted or that you need to see either your physical therapist or your chiropractor about, okay? So we're gonna do about 30 seconds in one direction or 3 revolutions, and we're gonna go through revolutions in the other direction. So I tense everything up, double chin. Making big circles. People accuse me of rolling my eyes in the back of my head when I do this, but I will gladly make that claim. All right, so those are what I call our neck cars. All right, so for our next exercise, we're going to do what's called a shoulder car. Similar motion, okay, motion of our shoulder. With this one, I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to pretend like I'm crushing walnuts between my hands here. I'm going to tense my entire body. This is tense, all of it's tense. I'm going to take my hands so my back stays flat. As I go overhead, my back's going to want to arch. I don't want to let it do that. I'm going to bring my hands up to the point where I start to get shoulder restriction. I'm going to turn my palm to face the other direction. I'm going to come down behind my body. All right, now, palms facing backwards. I'm going to come up behind my body to the point where I'm restricted. I start to turn my hand back around and make a big circle around, right? At the same time, I'm tensing my entire body, so like I'm about to punch somebody. I'm not angry, but just so I'm tense everywhere except for the joint in which I'm moving, okay? So once again, we want to keep this as close to our body as possible. So in its entirety, tense. Get to that point, I'm come into this position so you can see me. Turn my palm to face the other way. I come back around. Tense your body, get tight, push around, and come back around. All right, now we're gonna do 1 minute or 3 revolutions on each side. And again, it's not about speed in this, okay? It's about precision, it's about control, it's about moving slowly so we work the joint. So once more, on this side, moving slowly. This is kind of the pace that I want. I have like a slow timer. Turn the palm to face backwards. Come around. And then we come back around. And again, make note of any pinching that you feel as we go along here, okay? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Just work around the pinch. So don't just go straight through it. Maybe move your arm out to the side or something like that. Now, next, we're going to move into shoulder or scapular circles, all right? With this one, it's like we're grinding a gear, okay? So what we're gonna do, again, tense my body. Okay, I'm gonna think about pushing my shoulder blade forward like this. So if you can see me on the back side here, I push my shoulder blade forward first, pull my shoulder blade towards my ear without shrugging my shoulder as much as I can. I retract my shoulder blade, and then I pull it into my pocket. So one more time, forward, up, retract, down, all right? We can also go the other way. Retract, up, forward, down. One more time, retract, up, forward, down. Now that's probably gonna be hard to feel, and on the front side I'll show you. So forward, up, retract, down, forward, up, retract, down. And again, your body's gonna wanna kind of wobble all over the place. So just try to stay as tight as you possibly can. And again, those are gonna be hard to feel in the beginning, particularly kind of the upward rotation. What I like to do with that one, I'll stand against the wall here. I'll push forward, I'll kind of come up, I'll retract, and I'll come down. The wall is kind of like my kickstand a little bit. Kind of just helps me to feel that. You can even line your back and kind of like put a tennis ball behind your shoulder blade to kind of like act as kind of like a wheel to help you, you know, move around like that. But that's our scapular car. All right, so our next exercise is going to be for the upper back. All right, so with this one, again, I want to put my feet together, squeeze my feet together, squeeze my quads, kind of stiffen my entire body up. I'm going to cross my arms. Now, I'm just going to flex from my upper part. So, just flex from my upper back, rotate as far as I can to one side, arch my back as much as I can for my upper back only, rotate and come down. So we're doing just a circle with the upper back. So flex as far as you can, rotate to one side, do a circle around and come around. We're gonna do about 30 seconds in each direction, or just 3 revolutions to each direction. So just come around the other way. And the key with this one is that you're feeling it from the upper back. Like as I hinge back, I should feel it kind of like the hinge point up here as opposed to down here. Okay, and if you're having trouble with that, what we can do is, again, press the back into the wall, cross the arms, drop down, rotate, come back, and come back, drop down, rotate, come back, and come back. And then I can work on extension by just coming into this position, dropping down, and just working on just extending from my upper back. All right? So, our last spinal exercise is we are going to start on all fours. All right? It's kind of like you've done yoga or Pilates to a lesser degree. You know, this is what is called a cat-camel exercise. With this one, what I'm going to do is just flex my entire spine. So get my spine as kind of curved up as I can. All right, with this, I just want to try to move in a wave. I'm going to start to extend up my spine from the bottom to the top. I want to kind of like disassociate one area from another. So I'm going to start to drop down with my lower back only. And then I just move up my back until I drop down my upper back. Okay, and now we're gonna reverse that. I'm gonna start to flex from my upper back only. One more time. Start to drop from my lower back only. Like watching myself here to make sure I can do it. And start to flex my upper back. Okay, that's definitely one that's going to take some control. You know, take some practice. What you can do to kind of practice, and you know, what your body's going to want to do is just drop everything together. You know, we kind of want to break it down into segments. So what we can do to kind of just work on one part from another would be for my upper back specifically. I can rock my heels to my butt, flex my back, and then just start to try to get shoulder motion and come up. Start to flex and come down. So rocking my heel to my butt here kind of like locks out my lower back. It allows me to focus more on my upper back. Whereas for my lower back, I could really kind of just glide forward a lot. It's the exact opposite. It helps to lock out my upper back. Okay, so for this, work on moving from my lower back. So those are just some ways to break it down, okay? Now, our last exercise is going to be what is called a hip car, okay? For this one, I'm gonna use the wall for support, and again, I wanna tense my body. Spinal car, not so much, you know, you want your spine to be pretty mobile there. Here, I'm gripping the wall, kind of tensing my arm, abs are tight. Leg that's not raising is also tight, so this butt cheek is tight, squat is tight, foot. I'm gonna get my leg up as high as I can. Okay, I'm gonna bring my knee to my chest as much as I possibly can. I'm gonna bring my leg out to the side. I'm gonna turn my leg in, and I'm gonna come around and push back as far as I can. I'm gonna pause for 1 or 2 seconds, and I'm just gonna draw a big circle back around. All right, and when you're doing this, you'll feel like almost your hip cramping, and that's what we want. We kind of want to, you know, force ourselves into these ranges of motion to the best of our ability. We want to keep our body straight. Okay, what your body's going to want to do is side bend, lean back, do as much as you can while keeping your body straight. But just one more time, we tense everything up. Knee comes to my chest, leg comes out, torso is still fairly straight. Leg comes in, leg comes around, comes back. Then we go, leg comes around. Leg comes around, all right? Now, if that's a problem, what we can do is we can come on all fours here, and we can do the same thing. So, I bring one knee to my chest, bring my leg out, do a circle around and come back, bring it back, do a circle around. Again, trying to keep my torso as straight as I can within reason. All right, so to review, we have our breathing, we have our neck car, we have our shoulder car, we have scapular car, we have our 2 spinal exercises, our upper back and then the whole spine, and then we have our hips, okay? In total, if we do 1 minute for each of those things, that's gonna take 10 minutes, all right? That is gonna change your life. Best 10 minutes you've ever spent. Try that today. Do that every morning when you wake up. You know, your body lays down connective tissue in the morning. That helps to break things up and get your rebuild range of motion as we go along. It's going to change your life, change the way you move. Good luck and enjoy.